The battle between Donald Trump and former National Security Advisor John Bolton has taken the next step. The president fired him in the days surrounding the launch of the impeachment investigation, and Bolton then spent his free time writing a tell-all book of his time with the administration. Not surprisingly, Trump wants to block the book from being released. The latest effort is to file a civil lawsuit against Bolton to prevent him from releasing his book, stating that The Room Where It Happened, a White House memoir, contains classified information. However, the Trump administration did not go as far as to seek a court order against the book's publisher, Simon & Schuster. Instead, a civil suit was filed in U.S. District Court in Washington. It accuses the former National Security Advisor of violating a non-disclosure agreement. The court filing asks the court to order Bolton to instruct or request his publisher, insofar as he has the authority to do so, to further delay the release date. In addition, the suit asks the court to prohibit Bolton from disclosing any information in the book without written permission from the administration and from releasing it in any form, and to order him to notify the publisher that he did not complete the pre-publication review process. The court is also being asked to order him to take any and all available steps to retrieve and dispose of any copies of The Room Where It Happened that may be in the possession of any third party in a manner acceptable to the United States. Also requested is a step followed for other unauthorized disclosures of classified information by former officials, to establish a trust that will direct the book's profits to the U.S. Treasury. It's expected that Bolton's memoir will go into details of Trump's decision-making process, his fighting advisors, and his involvement in foreign policy decisions, including Ukraine, Venezuela, North Korea, and Iran. He served as the National Security Advisor from April 2018 through September 2019. I am hard-pressed to identify any significant Trump decision during my tenure that wasn't driven by re-election calculations, wrote Bolton in his book, according to a description Simon & Schuster released on Friday. He also states in the book his belief that House Democrats committed impeachment malpractice by concentrating the investigation on Ukraine. Earlier this year, the New York Times reported that an early draft of the book confirmed Trump withheld military aid from Ukraine as a way to pressure its president, Volodymyr Zelensky, to investigate former President Joe Biden, now the presumptive Democratic nominee, and his son Hunter. Bolton's attorney, Charles Cooper, said after the court filing, "We are reviewing the government complaint and will respond in due course." He also maintains the book does not contain classified material and that his client worked with the National Security Council since December to go over the manuscript. Simon & Schuster has also said that Bolton spent months on revisions at the White House's request. Cooper wrote in a June 10 letter to the White House that Bolton does not have the authority to stop the distribution of the book. It has already been printed and shipped to locations throughout the country. Tuesday night, Simon & Schuster said in a statement that the Justice Department court filing is nothing more than the latest in a long-running series of efforts by the administration to quash publication of a book it deems unflattering to the president. Legal experts see it as notable that the DOJ did not file a suit against the publisher, as courts are wary of blocking the publication of books, especially those that deal with political speech. Instead, by focusing the efforts on Biden, it seems the administration is using financial pressure to discourage him from disclosing information without government permission. Trump mentioned to reporters on Monday that he sees Bolton's tell-all as highly inappropriate, adding he will consider every conversation with me as president highly classified. He further explained that it meant if he wrote a book and if the book gets out, he's broken the law, and I would think that he would have criminal problems. I hope so. Maybe he's not telling the truth, he stipulated. He's been known not to tell the truth, a lot. Barr said on Monday that we don't believe Bolton has gone through the process that is required to clear books by government officials that deal with topics of national security. The complaint that was filed on Tuesday said legal action is necessary to keep Bolton from compromising national security by publishing a book containing classified information in clear breach of agreement he signed as a condition of his employment and as a condition of gaining access to highly classified information, and in clear breach of the trust placed within him by the United States government. Yet, in Cooper's letter last week, he said. An NSC official reviewed the manuscript and signed off on it April 27 after Bolton made extensive edits for reasons of protecting national security. Deputy White House counsel John A. Eisenberg wrote back to Cooper on June 11 and said, "Your client is well aware that his manuscript still contains classified material, according to a copy of the letter that is included in the civil suit." Eisenberg added he was shocked and dismayed to learn the manuscript had been printed and sent to distributors in brazen disregard of his obligations under the NDA he signed with the White House. Last week the White House warned Bolton that the book needed more revisions to comply with a review process that is required by government employees writing on such issues. The unauthorized disclosure of classified information could be exploited by a foreign power, thereby causing significant harm to the national security of the United States, he wrote. Bolton was told that the White House would be providing him with a new, redacted manuscript by June 19, just 4 days before the scheduled release date. Cooper responded that Bolton complied with the vetting requirements already. Simon & Schuster is fully supportive of Ambassador Bolton's First Amendment right to tell the story of his time in the Trump White House, said Julia Prosser, Vice President and Director of Publicity for the publisher, in a statement last week. She further noted that the new author took care to ensure the book did not endanger national security. In the months leading up to the publication of The Room Where It Happened, Bolton worked in cooperation with the National Security Council to incorporate changes to the text that addressed NSC concerns, she expressed in a statement. The final, published version of this book reflects those changes.